Hey, what's up everybody, it is TRSF 2.0 back again with another news video. This is part 2 of my Sonic Frontiers delayed video because I found some extra goodies inside of the Sega Sammy management meeting from December 14th, or was it the 24th? I do not remember. But anyway, I have a good friend of mine who was helping me work on this Sonic FNF mod that y'all got a teaser trailer of a few days ago. So, and if you didn't see it, I recommend you do because this is a pretty big project and I need all the support I can get. But without further ado, would you like to introduce yourself?
Heck yeah! I am Mr. Bluey or Blueboii or Swiss Rolls. However you know.
Okie dokie. So let's get this show on the road because y'all probably can use production news bits because yes. But anyway, so on page 3 of the document, because we already saw page 1 and now it's for Sonic Frontiers, page 3 it says, the question is there any other Sega owned IP that can take strategic IP rollouts similar to Sonic? And the answer to that is, as for the potential other than Sonic IP, in terms of licensing and merchandising, IPs which we are receiving a lot of offers at the moment are Persona and Project Sekai, or Sekai. I think we can continue to further roll out aggressively for these IPs in the future. However, we don't expect they will grow to the IP that can reach to hundreds of millions of people, at the similar scale of Sonic at this moment. In addition, Super Monkey Ball, which released the remake this year, has a history of recorded millions of downloads when it was released as a launch title in the App Store, and is very popular, especially in the US. So we can see the possibility of the rollout in video and merchandising. The offer for making video and remake of past IP is increasingly significantly following the success of Sonic movie. We are considering revitalizing the revival of dormant IPs in the future, including the possibility of working with other partners. So what do you think about this, Blue?
Well, I think that this can open a new door for plenty of other Sega IPs and all that other stuff. Especially Sonic, since Sega's main IP. And also, Super Monkey Ball, which hasn't really been like canceled like other Sega IPs. Also, Persona hasn't either, because Super Monkey Ball, Sonic, and Persona are like Sega's money milkers. So, I don't know what Project Sekai is, so I won't really be having a comment on that. But Sega's trying to open doorways for like plenty of their other IPs and even bring back old ones that they haven't been using over the past years, 20 years, 10 years, 30 years. And yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about, honestly. I think this will be an opening because I also said we are considering revitalizing the revival of dormant IPs in the future. Which I also believe that might mean they might consider bringing back old IPs back into the limelight again. Like imagine if they brought back
Ritz.
Ritz?
Knights.
Oh, Knights. Yes. Why did I say Ritz? But imagine if they bring back Knights. That would be incredible. Because we haven't seen her in we haven't seen her since Lost World. And that's just the truth. Like officially we haven't seen her since Lost World.
So
and that was like in 2014? No, 13. Yeah, because Lost World came out in 2013. Imagine if they brought back Rice Star or Toe Jam and Earl.
Yep.
That would be crazy seeing them in modern. Some people would be like, wait, who are those people again? But, yeah. Anyway, next page, we are on page 4 of the document. And this question is, I guess this is related to NFT and P2E. For those people not knowing, NFT is non-refundable token. Or non-fungible token, not refundable, and P2E is play to earn. I'm pretty sure most of y'all know what NFTs are because of the memes. But play to earn, so it's like you gotta keep playing to earn rewards and stuff. But anyway, let's continue. I guess this is related to NFT and P2E, but metaverse is becoming a buzzword in recent years. Please tell us how Sega defines this word and how you see the business opportunities, etc. with this. And Sega's answer is, as for the definition of metaverse, I perceive it as a place where the people gather and communities are generated. For example, I think the reason why Fortnite and Animal Grossing, I'm pretty sure it's crossing, but either that's an error, that's what they actually said. Okay, Animal Grossing is called metaverse. Is that many people gather there and the community is generated there. Therefore, I think it is important that the IP itself is well established and welcomed by many users. For example, I don't think a metaverse can be established in a game with only 10,000 players. Conversely, the presence of metaverse-like elements does not always gather people to a game. We are often said that Phantasy Star Online 2 has already embodied the metaverse as it held the event like music live, etc. in the game, and I think it is the strength of Sega that we have been developing the sandbox type scalable game. If we don't cooperate such new elements in the future, I think the games of today will be outdated in 3 to 5 years time. So we are very conscious of creating games towards the world of 5 years or so from now on. However, I do believe that the goal is not to create a metaverse, but the most important thing is to create a high quality game. We want to make Super Game as a game that supports global and multi-platform with having a network and a community. If such game has a competitive element called PvP, it could turn into an esport. Furthermore, it could become a metaverse if it has tens of millions of downloads worldwide and a certain number of active users. We are holding live performances within the game in Project Sky, and they have been very well received. Although it is not a virtual world, we are challenging on the things to generate metaverse. Although we don't call it a metaverse, as we think it is quite possible that the definition of the metaverse will be changed from the current concept in 5 years. We think that a game with similar concept will be our Super Game. Now, what do we have to say about that?
That, what Sega said, is actually like I said before, pretty promising to like what they want to do with their IPs and stuff like that, especially Sonic. And comparing it to like games like Fortnite and Animal Grossing, is like pretty much showing up like they are listening to other like game developers and like seeing how they can incorporate their game to be like similar to it but not as similar.
Yes.
And pretty much like try to do something different, unlike most newer games that's coming out in the recent years.
Yeah, I see what you mean by that, honestly. Where honestly, most of the games that we see now are mostly live service games. Like EA, most of their games like Madden and FIFA is basically just the same thing. They just re-release over and over again and just give it a different title, or just change a subtle thing about it, or just make it next gen, even though it's not really next gen. They just rushed out the title. And stuff like Sonic Colors Ultimate, that's a 10-year-old game. How could they release it 11-year game? How could they release it 11 years later, and then just it comes out like this with a bunch of bugs, glitches, and other stuff like that? Like honestly, if they brought back Unleashed and that game was held critically acclaimed already, it shocks me to see how they would have done Unleashed, honestly. But I like what they say about how they don't want to make their games a metaverse per se, but also want to keep adding new elements to their games so they can create a high quality game, which is also a big thing, because we need games nowadays that don't just because the trailer looks appealing, just because the advertising looks appealing. We gotta have the gameplay be appealing as well. You can't just have all the stuff and then you buy the game and it's like, oh, well, we did all that stuff just to entice you. Once you actually get the game, you might be disappointed. You get what I mean?
Yeah, well put.
Yeah, so I honestly agree with what they're saying here, and their idea of a super game, I support it honestly, because what they're doing here, or what they're telling these people during their interview, it sounds very promising, and I hope they live up to what they said. I hope they live up to what they're telling us right now. But without all of that, what are your final thoughts on all of this?
Well, my final thoughts. Hopefully, Sega is like living up to what they actually are saying right here, because they have done this like plenty of times in the past with, especially with Forces, since they have done plenty of interviews during that time. And yeah, hopefully they live up to like what they're trying to do with all their IPs and like all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And the metaverse thing, even though they're not trying to go for a metaverse, say, type of thing, their super game, which is, I'm hoping they mean like Frontiers or some type of Sonic game, might be a key for them to like be more relevant, like Nintendo or Epic Games or Mojang or whatever's.
Yeah, well, Epic Games, they got all their money thanks to Fortnite, and that game basically is just, it's the main gameplay anymore. It's not really just the main gameplay anymore, because most people just like, they create their own thing and that stuff. That's basically all they play now, especially like the sluts and stuff. But we're not getting into Fortnite right now. But my final thoughts is, I agree with all of this, and I hope that what we've heard so far, we hope that Frontiers gets to this level of stuff, because honestly, we haven't gotten a good mainline Sonic game in a while. And now that the meta era is basically soon to be over, I hope Frontiers lives up to the expectations. That's what we've been hearing. Now, with all that said, thank you all so much for watching this video. Comment, like, subscribe, and me and Blueboii here are going back to our working desk so we can go and work on this mod. Anyways, again, thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.
Animal grossing.